Ness, a star of the gold rush, is back at it again this season, and he's prepared to face anything that comes his way. Everything that the tough mining industry could throw at him, but as he started to get a handle on things, Rick was taken aback by sad news, something so personal and impactful that it rocked him to his very core and put everything into perspective. It's easy to lose sight of the real people behind the mining claims in the gold rush world of long hours, heavy machinery, and high-stakes gold totals. However, reality hits harder than any breakdown or washed-out cut ever could for Rick Ness. This emotional blow came during a recent Zoom call with his best friend and longtime crew member Zaremba. With the mining season barreling down to its last, arduous stretch, Rick was eagerly anticipating the chat. Having them on site has always been a morale boost, but this year it has taken a tumble. He was an emotional anchor for the crew because to his humorous sense of humor, devotion, and laid-back personality, which made him an asset to the squad. His enthusiasm is very contagious, and he has a way of making everyone laugh. Rick said he's the kind of leader who keeps the team going, but this time the call was different. Returning to Milwaukee, they cheerfully welcomed Rick, made light of his meal, and joked about his occupation while he worked on mining maps. A carefree atmosphere. Two long-lost pals reuniting. Rick inquired about the season, Z's home life, and if Z's wife Chelsea had contacted him lately. Suddenly, Z revealed shocking news, the kind that can take a relationship and discussion to new heights. Rick was distraught as he broke the news that Chelsea had been diagnosed with 2 types of cancer. Their lives had been completely upended when she discovered a lump around 6 weeks earlier. Although the disease had not yet gone beyond the lymph nodes, Chelsea, who is just 33 years old, received the devastating news that she had stage 3 breast cancer and lobular carcinoma. She was told that the road ahead would be lengthy and difficult, but she remained collected as she learned about her plan. Chelsea had 8 rounds of chemotherapy, with each round occurring every 3 weeks. After that, she would have surgery and other treatments. The family was preparing for months of appointments, side effects, uncertainty, and optimism, but they were also prepared to face the reality that this struggle would likely continue until March. Rick sat in stunned silence, trying to comprehend the challenges his friend and, more importantly, Chelsea was going through. When he inquired about her well-being, Z didn't sugarcoat it. There were good days and bad, emotional swings, difficult conversations, and fears associated with the unknown. However, if anyone could overcome something like this, it would be Chelsea, who is incredibly resilient. In a light-hearted moment, Z remarked, his voice steady with a mix of pride and anguish, that she can overcome this. She required at least 12 inches of hair, so Rick joked that he may finally have grown enough to donate it. They both laughed for a second, and then Rick said he would likely need to wash it before sending it off. It was a quick but meaningful moment. Laughter provided some lightheartedness to an otherwise serious discussion, and then the subject shifted to Rick's initial call, his hope that Z would be able to return to the north and lend a hand as the season approached its most taxing period. It was a long shot, but the stripping is now over and plant activities are starting. Z surprised Rick by saying they had previously discussed it, and in an admirable display of altruism, Chelsea encouraged him to depart if Rick needed him, even though she recognized the challenges he was having with Z and Chelsea. They both acknowledged that the job they perform together is important, and that it may even be a nice respite for them. She's likely tired of. Rick was deeply moved by Chelsea's generosity and heroic support of her husband during this difficult time. They ended the call with a promise that Rick would inform him when the time came and that Z would be ready to help. I asked him how she was doing every 20 minutes, and he said it half-jokingly. Rick would give Chelsea a personal call and try his best to avoid being on air as the clock ran out. Rick patiently sat down. All I need is a moment. The news continued to weigh heavily on Rick Ness, he claimed. More than just mining, the gold rush season has always revolved on the dreamers. The most powerful battles aren't always waged on dirt, but in hospital rooms, homes, and the hearts of those we love. As fans keep watching Rick's journey this season, many will now be rooting not only for gold, but also for Chelsea's recovery, Z's strength, and the enduring friendship that shines through even the darkest times. Gold Rush is entering its final stretch, and it has been an intense season so far. Rick Ness and Brian Zaremba are not only confronted with the practical and economic difficulties of gold mining, but also with the burden of profoundly personal grief. However, they refuse to allow this tragedy to derail them. Rick and Z have been deeply affected by this emotional hit, and their motivation for this season has changed drastically. Now, it's not just about winning or accumulating weight. It's about demonstrating their strength, paying tribute to individuals they care about, and demonstrating resilience to the world. As the clock ticks down and time runs out, the longtime friends are devoting more and more of themselves emotionally and mentally. Their motivation is now driven by something far greater than profit. It's about grit, heart, and persevering through the storm as the final weeks come to a close. This week on Gold Rush, the action heated up as the season approaches its dramatic finale, thrilling eager fans. It's shaping up to be their most impactful season ever. Tony comes out on top. Tony Beats, as usual, demonstrated why he is one of the best by delivering memorable performances from Kevin Beats and Parker Schnabel, who both fought valiantly to achieve their gold targets before time ran out. The leading dogs in the Klondike, the seasoned miner, had a stellar week, earning about $83,000 in 31.750. However, the true winner was Mike's Paradise Hill Trommel, which yielded an incredible $172.150, or nearly $500,000 worth of gold. This incredible haul brings Tony's season total to an astounding $4,363. Oh, and in the meantime, after 5 months of daringly working apart from his father's illustrious mining enterprise, Kevin Beats continues his path to freedom. It hasn't been easy. Kevin hit a major milestone this week, collecting 205.58 ohms, which is his best weekly total so far. His season total now stands at 680 ounces, which bodes well for his chances of finishing well. There were just 470 ounces that he had mined last week. With 100.10 1,010 ounces added to his cruise haul at the bridge cut, Parker Schnabel's weekly total reached 282.30 ounces, or approximately $740,000. He was never one to back down from a daring maneuver. It's a satisfying conclusion to a season that was marked by strategic risks and dogged perseverance.